relax. Right. Got a cup of tea. Man, I'm tired. What now?
ごめん。私、ちょっと忙しいから。
Knew it! She looked away as she said that to me. Is this about the incidents? No, it's about the plot that you do not know. Come on, I'll help you out, I promise to remember.
今日はいいから。
It's fine for today, tomorrow, the day after that, and pretty much every single day. Just piss off. I'm sorry if I'm misunderstanding something, but have you been avoiding me since yesterday?
そんなことないよ。どうしてそう思うの?
Man, they always do that, don't they? It's like, of course not. I mean, won't give you the impression that I'm ignoring you, besides the fact that I'm clearly ignoring you. It's like, oh, you figured it out, Yoshiyuki. So I will, like, put up the whole, of course not, completely outright deny it and be like, what makes you think that? Why, you say, well, you've been acting a bit weird, you know, and in the morning during lunch and after school.
何をしてもタイミングが合わない時ってあるから。前に弟くんが言ったことだよ。
We just stood around and stared at each other. The air was heavy around us. It kind of looks like the timing's always off on purpose, though.
気のせいだよ。それじゃあ、さよなら。
Bullshit! Otome ran towards the gate as if to escape from me. I felt like she was trying to repel me, and I just couldn't run after her. Wait, did he say could or couldn't there? What's going on, Otome? Aren't we one body and soul? However, the harsh winter wind howled stronger than my words. Damn it! I felt really annoyed. Part of it was about Otome's attitude, of course. You know, really, the correct word for that should probably be really frustrated, because really annoyed just doesn't quite cut it, really. It's like, I find this very annoying. It's just like, instead of, I find this very frustrating, is kind of like the word you'd expect there. Part of it was about Otome's attitude, of course. But most of all, I was disappointed that Otome wouldn't let me do anything for her, even though she was on the verge of collapsing. It's probably because it has something to do with you in the first place. Click, 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 click. I was getting pretty used to the scenery, and I instantly knew I was in the dream world. He says that, he's like getting used to the scenery, and yet he still can't figure out. He's just, oh, it pisses me off. The dreamer was sitting in front of her monitor once again. The clicking sound of the keyboard typing stopped and everything was completely silent. I guess she isn't listening to the radio today. Thank fuck for that. Seriously, just like that freaking DJ is just like, what the hell? Having said that, she suddenly stood up. Tok tok. She then grabbed the stack of papers on her desk and tapped it into a neat pile.
大丈夫だよね。ちゃんと僕が制御をすればいいんだ。コントロールはできるはず。無理なことは何もない。
As if she was being chased by something, she hurriedly prepared to leave the laboratory. It was snowing heavily outside the window. There must be a lot of anxiety and conflict in this girl's heart. The white snow was slowly covering everything outside the window. The ashen grey building, the poison green car, graffiti all over the walls and fences, everything was covered in white. When she was done sorting her papers and about to leave, she turned around and looked at the room. She must have spent a long time in here, felt a lot of emotions. You know, it'd be funny if the room replied just like, no problem. Just like, what? Just like, I think I spent too much time in that room. It's just like, I'm hallucinating. She said one sentence and left the room. Why did she do that? Felt like she said it to me, even though I'm not really supposed to exist here. I could feel someone shaking me and I returned to the waking world. Yume, what are you doing here?
お姉ちゃんが来てないかと思って探しに来たの。でも、いないみたいだね。
Otome, huh? I remember the sight of Otome running away from me and my chest felt really tight.
兄さん、お姉ちゃん知らない？
I met her at the gate when I was going home today. Hasn't Otome come home yet? Looking at the clock, it was just past 11 p.m. That's about the time when all the places in the shopping district close up for the day and the door just freaking opens on its own. You know, the way he words that, it's as if he's like, it's implying that he passed out at the gate and somehow ended up there, because there wasn't really much of a transition, really. I don't think.
うん。携帯に電話しても出てくれないし、だからてっきり兄さんと一緒なのかと思ってたんだけど、昨日からなんか様子がおかしかったんだよね。何を話しても上の空で。
I'm gonna go and look for her. It seems she's kind of like, we've only seen bits and pieces of her childhood, but from when she was younger, it seems like that attitude is materializing again. It must be about the incidents. And without acting like that, I have a really bad feeling about this. I left the house in a hurry. Looks like I was in luck. As soon as I got outside, Otome had just come home. Otome, I'm so glad you're safe.
無事って何かあったの？
Well, I guess not. It's really late though. Where have you been? Yumei tried calling you, but she couldn't get through.
ごめん、鳴ってたのに気づかなくて。
Huh? How could you not hear it ringing?
うん。カバンの一番奥に入れっぱなしにしてたから。後でゆめちゃんに謝っておくね。
Well, she's not really angry or anything. But it was being really blunt with me and it was making me feel impatient. This wasn't what I wanted to talk to her about. Hey, did you find out something about the incidents? Something that made you not want to pick up the phone? That's it, isn't it? So, what did you figure out? I put my hands on Otome's shoulders and looked straight into her eyes. Suddenly, she looked really uneasy. I could feel a terrible fear take root deep in my heart. Before long, she averted her eyes from mine.
ごめんね。今日はちょっと疲れてるから。
Well, when can we talk? Would tomorrow morning be okay?
ごめんなさい。
Dodging my question, Otome shook herself free from my hands and brought off into her house. Otome! Confused, I chased after her. However, I heard Otome lock the door from the inside. Why? Why is she suddenly dismissing me like this? Well, I have my own theory in my mind, sort of, connecting with the dreams that he's been having of Sakura, but he's still too dense to even realize that slight bit of information, but I'm kind of forming a general idea of what could it be, and maybe that's what Otome has figured out, and maybe that's why she's avoiding him, but I'm not entirely sure. Because, you know, it's just a theory, and I'm not even going to state what that theory is until it's actually revealed, so just be like, how it compares to what it actually is. Otome, I'll come pick you up tomorrow. Let's talk about it then. I called out at the closed door in front of me. It was just a door, but felt like a foot-thick wall of steel. The next morning, I went over to Otome's house as soon as I woke up. I rang the doorbell, and after a while, the door slowly opened.
あれ？兄さん。
Yumei was the one who answered the door. You know, with the amount of, like, dodging Yoshiki Otome has been doing, it seems more like it should be Yumei's route with how often we see her compared. Yumei, where's Otome?
お姉ちゃんならもう出かけちゃったみたいだけど。
She left already?
うん。
Did she say where she was going?
何も聞いてない。もしかしてお姉ちゃんと約束してたの？
Well, I didn't really promise so much as ask her to meet up with me. I didn't think she'd stand me up after that, really. Maybe something important came up. I mean, since she had to run off this early in the morning. Actually, probably not.
お姉ちゃんらしくないね。人との約束すっぽかすなんて。
Well, like I said, we didn't really promise anything. Oh well, I'll drop by later.
お姉ちゃんが帰ってきたら伝えとく。すぐ兄さんに連絡しなさいって。
Yeah, sorry for making you do this for me. I pretty much searched for Otome all over the island, but I couldn't find her. In the end, I spent the entire day without her even calling me once. Well, that was an eventful day. The next morning, I woke up even earlier and headed over to Otome's house as soon as I was dressed.
はい。あ、兄さん。
Just like yesterday, Yume was the one who answered the door. Is Otome home?
あれ？兄さんのところに行ってたんじゃないの？
Yume looked really confused. No, she didn't. I haven't even heard from her since before yesterday.
嘘。だって私。
Yeah, you told her, right, to get in touch with me.
うん。
It looked like Yume was thinking about something.
兄さんもしかしてお姉ちゃんを怒らせるようなことした？
I really can't think of anything. I have absolutely no idea how it ended up like this. It'd be easier to deal with if we knew what it was about.
お姉ちゃん、わけもなく人を避けるような人じゃないと思うんだけど、特に兄さんのことは。
Unfortunately, she's also the type to keep everything to herself, you know. I really wonder what the heck is going on.
わかんない。
We looked at each other and both tilted our heads in wonder.
お姉ちゃんが帰ってきたら、兄さんのところに連れてってあげるよ。
What we should do is bring Nanaka along and confront Otome. Now that could potentially resolve this matter. Really? Awesome.
雰囲気つけないといけないし。
About what?
なんでもない。それじゃあ私、見たいテレビがあるから、これで。
Man, this happens all the time with characters in fiction. It's just like they'll just say something, and then the other character will be like, huh? What do you mean there? Just like, oh, nothing, and just like completely ditch that subject entirely, you know? It happens all the time. Yume hurriedly shut the door. She's as weird as always, and you're as dense as always. Oh well, I'll just wait for Yume to bring Otome over then. But even as midnight arrived, I hadn't seen Otome at all. I could see Otome's room across the yard too, but it was completely dark. Really, Otome, what's going on? If you won't talk to me, we'll never be able to solve this. It's a thing with these routes, isn't it? They always tend to, like, there's always the case. It doesn't matter what girl, what visual novel, anything. They'll always be overly dramatic kind of routes. It's just like, gonna be a little bit, you know, a bit more down to earth, a bit more chill, a little less on the, oh, the feels or the, oh, what the fuck's going on now kind of thing, and more just kind of it straightforward. Then again, when you really think about it, even in real life, you'll have like these kind of things quite often. It's just like everyone has their own story, and you know, nobody has a story that's completely, perfectly happy, straightforward. Now, is it? It's usually kind of a mixture. I woke up to the birds chirping and the sun shining in through the window. It really didn't feel all that great to wake up. I guess you can't generally sleep well while worrying so much. I was still exhausted, but I didn't really feel like going back to sleep. I really need to talk to Otome. I got out of bed, put on my school uniform, and headed over to the Asakura residence. Oh, it's him, Jun'ichi. As soon as I left the house, I saw Otome and Jun'ichi-san. For the first time, outside of flashbacks. He was gently stroking her head as she trembled.
乙女、お前が顔を曇らせることはないよ。これは私たち大人の背負うべきことだ。
でも、もし失敗したら。
なーに、その時はその時だ。それに、乙女はもっとおじいちゃんを信用しなさい。
でも私は。
こらこら、こんないい天気だというのに、そんな湿った顔をしてどうする。女の子は笑ってるのが一番だよ。君もそう思うだろう、義行くん。
Otome looked surprised and turned her head my way. And then she looked awkward. I just came over to talk to Otome, but I guess you're in the middle of something?
いや、話はもう終わったから、気にせんでいいよ。それより、君に聞きたいことがあるんだが。
Oh? What?
単刀直入に。乙女はどうだね。
You know, Sakura asked the exact same question. What do you mean? And he had the exact same response, if I recall. Maybe Otome has told Junichi-san about it as well? About us, I mean.
乙女は可愛いかね。この子のためなら何でもできるかい。
Fire
火の
and
中にでも
water?
水の中にでも飛び込めるかい。
Imagine that walking through fire and water, like, at the same time. We'd be like, wow, can't have both if it's the water's putting out the fire, so just walking through water. How? Whatever, but that's totally not what it means. Come on, this really isn't the time for... Man, it's way too embarrassing to stand around and speak lovingly of Otome in front of Junichi-san.
義行くん。
Huh? Junichi-san looked incredibly serious for some reason. Was there some kind of deeper meaning to his question? It does feel embarrassing to answer, but if he's serious, it doesn't matter. There's only one answer. Yes, I would do anything for Otome. She's the most important person in the world to me. Now, tomorrow, forever.
そうかそうか。
Junichi-san smiled with satisfaction at my answer.
それじゃあこれは二人へのお祝いだ。朝ごはん代わりに食べなさい。
Having said that, Junichi-san held his hands out like a priest at a wedding ceremony and produced 2 colored manju. A blessing for the two of us? Does that mean I was to get married?
乙女を頼んだよ。君もよくわかってると思うけど、この子は弱虫のくせに一人で何でも抱え込もうとするところがあるからね。そのくせ人に頼ったり助けを求めたりするのが下手くそときてる。
Oops. Yep, I got it.
さて、それじゃあ私は散歩に出かけてくるから、あとはよろしく頼むよ。
おじいちゃん。
Otome looked like she had something pressing to say, but she couldn't let those words out. Junichi-san leisurely walked off, headed off somewhere. Otome, since Junichi gave these to us and all, do you want a manju, the pink one? Otome took the manju I held out, but she didn't eat it.
ごめんね。今日は先に行くね。クラスの用事で早めに学園に行かなきゃいけないから。
I can't go. I can go with you. It's...
ごめんなさい。
Otome quickly turned around and ran into the house. Otome was crying, wasn't she? I really wonder what's going on. I still had the manju Junichi-san gave me in my hand. I could only stand there staring at the closed door. I let out a big sigh. I wonder how many times I've sighed today. Well, we've only heard the one. Over Otome's recent weird attitude, and that stuff this morning, I think Otome was crying. I wanted to do something, I really wanted to support Otome, but I couldn't do anything. He's just kind of stood there speechless then, pretty much. He's just like, she was completely avoiding me. and I still had absolutely no idea why. And I bet he could ask jun'ichi-san about it, and he'd be like, I'm just going to, like, leave it to you to figure that out. He's just like, but, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it kind of runs in the family, you know, not giving out too much information, so that you'll actually have to think, and we realize that you're an absolute dense idiot, but we do it anyway. Just like, what the hell, man? I was really angry about how helpless I was. Sign number 2. Wataru turned around on his chair and faced me. Not really. For some reason, Wataru looked a bit more serious than usual. I don't remember having a fight or anything. I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything to make her upset. Yeah. It just feels like she's been avoiding me for a while. Yeah. If I could, I wouldn't be so down. I honestly couldn't think of anything in particular. I hadn't done anything to upset her, and I didn't really feel guilty about anything. Also, it didn't actually feel like she was angry. It felt more like he'd bottled up something really sad inside her heart, and she was avoiding me in order to hide it. Mayuki-senpai fiercely opened the classroom door. She rushed in, breathing heavily. Mayuki-senpai, what's up? Why are you in such a panic? Huh? I leapt up from my chair and ran out into the corridor. And it's because she's been so unreasonable. I ran down the stairs, skipping every old step. And then he fell. He's just like, take me to the nurse's office. No, serious moment, yeah. I had a feeling she'd end up collapsing. Otome! As soon as I opened the door to the nurse's office, I called out for Otome. Otome was sitting up in the bed. She looked like she was in pain, but when she forced herself back to looking expressionless. Mayuki-senpai told me you fainted. Are you okay? You certainly don't look fine. You're really pale. Did you get enough sleep yesterday? What were you doing up that late anyway? Gathering data on the instance? You know, that kind of reminds me, well... yeah, just like yesterday. I pretty much slept the whole day. Just like on and off sleeping throughout the whole day. Just like, fuck it. Just slept the entire freaking day. Just like... well, it was a Sunday. It's usually that type of day where people just like, oh, screw it, can't even be asked. But it was really disorienting once I actually got up after that. Just like, I think around about 11 o'clock, it was like, oh shit. Just like, I slept for the whole freaking day. And the first thing I get is just like, get laptop out, just scrolling for Facebook, click on some random post, and the comments on some random post is just like, conspiracy theorists and all that, just like, well, this is a pretty odd way to wake yourself up, isn't it? It's like, well, conspiracy theorists, this is not what I want to see first thing in the morning. Well, night, because I woke up at 11. But you get the idea. Quite disorientating. Just tell me and I'll help you out. Junichi-san said it too, right? You shouldn't try to carry every burden by yourself. Anyway, you should go home early today and get some rest. If you push yourself and get sick, the student council will also be in trouble. But they made no effort to reply. It was almost as if she was a statue, completely silent. I'll go tell your homeroom teacher that you're leaving early, so please wait here. If you're in pain, just sleep on the bed for... Otome.
私は一人で平気だから。構わないで。
You're not fine, you just fainted a few minutes ago.
じゃあ次は倒れないようにするよ。弟くんに迷惑かけないようにする。だからもう、そっとしておいて。
Her words were completely devoid of emotion. It reminded me of how she was when she shut herself in way back then. How could I possibly do that? I can't just leave you alone. We're lovers, right? We're one body and soul, right? Didn't we say that we'd help each other out? I was really happy when you told me that. I really meant it when I said I'd do anything for you. So please.
それなら一人にしてよ。
What, eh?
私のために何でもできるんでしょ？だったら、今は一人にしてよ。
Her words cut deep when I saw a string of tears flowing from her eye. Her entire body was shaking. I couldn't bear to see her cry. The tears just kept falling down her cheeks.
私のこと、いじめないでよ。
It sounded like she was asking me for forgiveness.
私だって本当は弟くんに。
Just as she was about to say it, she shut it inside herself.
ごめんなさい。一人にして。
She mumbled it to me. All the while, tears were running down her face. Seeing Otome like that, I bit down on my lips in shame. I couldn't do anything but leave the nurse's office.
お、よしっきー。乙女先輩どうだった？
I didn't reply to Wataru, I just returned to my seat in silence. I really couldn't figure out what Otome meant.
私のこといじめないでよ。私だって本当は弟くんに。
She's keeping something inside, isn't she? Is it something I've done?
ごめんなさい。一人にして。
I decided to help her with all my strength, but all I managed to do was to make her cry. I gripped my hand so hard it hurt. I hate how I'm powerless to do anything.
大丈夫か？お前めちゃめちゃ顔色悪いぞ。
Sorry, I don't really feel like talking right now. If I talked to someone right now, I had a feeling I'd take all my anger out on them. I couldn't even bring myself to smile.
そっか。
With that, Wataru left my desk. I was really surprised that he left me alone with just that.
あれ？
Tuk.
あったかいコーヒー。おごりだからありがたく飲んでくれや。かー！俺って優しいね。金欠で財布に774円しか残ってないのに他人にコーヒーをおごってやるなんて。
Thanks.
なんの。どうも、そろそろ席に戻んないとな。古典のババア、教室に来るのだけは早いんだよな。
Thanks, Wataru. Click. Having said thanks to him again in my thoughts, I opened the lid and gulped down the coffee. Its warm smell and the sweetness of the added milk spread throughout my body. It helped me calm down just a little bit.